Hey everybody, today we're looking at sigma on a calculator. So we're going to look at the sum of those arithmetic series, which mean those sequences we've been looking at are about to all be added up together, and we're going to have a way of calculating that pretty quickly. So rather than going to a calculator, let's just look at what the sigma means. This big letter E is a sigma, and that means you are going to sum all of these numbers up. We're going to sum this up for n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5, n is equal to 6, and every number up to 74. So that means we're going to do 2 4s plus 5 plus 2 5s plus 5 plus 2 6s plus 5 plus, okay, you've probably figured out by now, there's going to be a better way to do this. And what that's going to be is, in order to calculate this, you're going to take the number of terms, which is going to be the difference between our 74 and 4. That's going to be 70. But we've got one more than the difference is our number of terms. Think of it this way. How many numbers are there between 1 and 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. How many numbers are there between 0 and 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. So we take the difference, which in that case would be 5 minus 0, and add 1 to get 6 numbers. But in our case here, we've got 74 minus 4 to get 70, plus 1 more to get 71 terms. And what we're going to do is multiply that by the sum of the biggest term, so 2 74s plus 5, and the smallest term. That is going to be, I don't know why this has decided to be so picky to me. Let's go ahead and put this here. That's what I meant to do. The biggest term and the smallest term, which is going to be 2 4s plus 5. And we're going to divide it in half. So this, in our case, gives us 5,893. So what we did was we plugged in the top number to this, plugged in the bottom number, which was the 4, added them together, multiplied them by the number of terms, and divided in half. So adding them together and dividing in half just gives us the average term, and then we multiply that by the number of terms. So 5893 is going to do it for this ticket. Next problem. Let's do this again. So 68 minus 1 is 67, plus 1 is 68. Multiply that by 6 68s plus 7. Add that to 6 1s plus 7. Divide it all in half, and you get 14552. I'll try one more of these, and then I'll release them to you. 78 minus 3 is 75, so we've got 76 terms. We're going to multiply that by 3 78s plus 1, added to 3 3s plus 1, and divide it all in half to get 9 3 10. So that'll give us this. Now the rest of these I'll trust you to be able to do on your own. Let me know if you have any questions on it whenever you get there. For the sum of geometric series, those are the ones where you multiply repeatedly. You're going to do it a little differently. And in fact, I'm going to go to the example so that it doesn't just overwhelm you. This one is going to be, you take the first term, and then you are going to go ahead and do that minus the first term, or sorry, A1R to the n is actually the last term. So first term minus the last term divided by 1 minus the ratio. And in our case, that was 1.06. So what we are going to do is we're going to try this over that. First term minus last term over 1 minus the ratio. So 1 minus 0.99 is going to be our denominator. Our numerator is going to be 10 times 0.99 to the 2 minus 2. Which is going to be the 0 power. Minus 66, sorry, my mistake, 10 times 0.99 raised to the 66 minus 2 power. Now it's going to give us a messy answer, but we're going to round to the nearest integer, which is 474. So that's going to be the bottom term. So the first term minus the last term divided by 1 minus the ratio. Let me go ahead and see if I made a typo of some sort. I made a silly mistake. The mistake that I made was, instead of raising it to the n minus 2 here, I need to raise the ratio to the n power. And n is actually going to be the number of terms in our sequence. And in that case, 66 minus 2 is 64, plus 1 is 65. So I believe 480 should be our answer. That takes us there. So what we need to do here is we show the first term is going to be 700 times 0.89 raised to the 2 minus 2. There are 23 minus 2 plus 1, so 22 terms in our sequence. 0.89 here, 700 there, 1 minus 0.89. If you put this into something that looks like your formula, then you've got it. Here, we're going to have 5874. The next one. This is where it's going to start being a little bit interesting. Our first term is going to be 1.26. One second. Setting this up in our formula here. This is one. Connection attempt is failing. Boom, now we're back on the Wi-Fi. I don't know what exactly went wrong with the Screencastify, but hopefully this will work fine for us. So this minus the same term raised to the 0.1, or sorry, 0 plus 1, and then multiply that by r to the n. So you want to multiply this by 1.26 raised to the power of 26 minus 0 plus 1, 27. So we have the first term minus the first term multiplied by a ratio raised to the number of terms, and then divided by 1 minus our ratio. And here it's 992234. Now, these may be a little bit difficult, so please ask plenty of questions. I'm going to let you go and let you do the rest for yourself. Have a good one, y'all.